It's been 75 long days since Stocky Mickwell's survival story began, and here he is, look, killing his first little zombie. How cute. Fast forward to day 75. Stocky secured the country club over at the golf course, walled the whole thing off, and he's getting busy with construction, making the place his very own. In fact, this bit was quite tedious and stretched into day 76 as well. After all that woodwork, Stocky felt like a bit of a change of scenery, so he spent the rest of the afternoon and evening working on his cars. However, the more he progressed his mechanic skills, the more he realised that they're probably not going to be as useful as he would want without the accompanying metalwork skills. So he headed back over on day 77 to Riverside School to see if he could find any books that are going to help him learn all that shit, but to no avail. Surely he would have better luck at the bookstore back in town. He just had to get past one small obstacle. And Stocky's effort was well rewarded when he found a full set of metalworking books in the bookstore. Now, one of the things that Stocky learned about recently was the ability to tow vehicles. So he thought he'd give it a go and see if we could pick up this white ute that he's had his eye on for a little while. And hey presto, what do you know? Stocky spent most of day 78 reading books, doing a bit of farming, practicing his metalwork. And if you want to try for a tedious skill to try and level up, this is the one. So, having had enough of that, Stocky spent day 79 just working on the cars in the workshop. Day 80 was back on the metalwork. Day 81 was back on the metalwork. And then, fighting the urge to end it all right now after 2 days of metalwork, he decided to add some little improvements around the base with some ropes that he could get up and down from the workshop from the main area of the base. That'll do for now. We'll come back and sort something out a little bit more permanent later. Now, those of you watching from the start will know that we've picked up quite a lot of guns and ammunition over the last 82 days, but Stocky sucked at shooting, so he grabbed a shotgun and a bunch of shells and started blasting away. It turns out that if you're shit at using guns, the shotgun is the way that you can level up fast, because apparently, Stocky hasn't checked this, but he has heard that skill is gained for every bullet or every buckshot that connects with a zombie. So with the shotgun having a wide spread, you're basically getting 4 times the opportunity to upskill. Having said that, don't quote me on it because it might be bullshit. Either way, the shotgun is a really fun way to get into using guns. It also took Stocky a while to realise that if he stands still, then those outlines around the zombies would turn green, which means he's got a better aim. So better late than never with that little tidbit of information. We got there in the end. Oh, And if you don't like shooting montages, then you can probably skip forward about 2.5 minutes. And it was about now that Stocky ran out of shotgun shells, so he headed back home to go and pick up some more, probably had 2 or 3 more boxes in the cupboard, and vowed to come back in the morning and finish this bunch of bastards off. And here he goes. Alright, that's all the zombies from south of the country club, so we headed up to the spot in between the warehouse and Riverside to go and see if we could find some more, and we weren't disappointed. Now, the shotgun is all fun and games, but let's give it a little go with something else. We did bring a pistol with us as well, so let's see how that fares. Not as impressive as a shotgun, I have to say. Sped up, it looks pretty cool though. Anyway, that's enough of that. On the way back home, I thought I'd just show you this bit where we picked up the trailer from this car wreck, because that'll come in handy for a loot run that we're going to do soon, as well as humping logs around the base. Speaking of which, it was another day on the construction for Stocky. Sick of all the weeds growing in this area where he's walking all the time, he stuck some floorboards down. Day 85, he spent pretty much all day fucking cooking. I mean, it's good that we've got the resources and that we can do this, but my god, does it take a long time. Stir fries being probably the easiest thing to put together, because you can just chuck anything in a frying pan and it will call it a stir fry. And frying pans have been pretty plentiful. Day 86 was another day spent mostly farming. And working in the ballroom workshop. On his recent run to the school and the bookstore in Riverside, Stocky did drive past a couple of survivor houses, so he headed back over to see if he could find them again. Unfortunately, only finding this one. But it turned out that one is all you need, because what he found in this one was pretty good. And check it out, we have a new machete. Thank you very much. Now, that was great and all, but the main mission for today was to get over to the Gigamart and see if we could fill up this trailer full of all the canned goods and non-perishables. Only problem is it was a little bit more populated than Stocky was expecting. It might not look like it now, but with his newfound gun skills he got a little bit cocky and made a little bit of a boo-boo. Yes, that is every zombie in a fuck knows how large radius, all attracted to the sound of this little pea shooter that Stocky thinks he can take the crowds on with. Not the most genius idea he's ever had, but all is not lost. It's just going to be a case of running them around. Oh my god, the fucking Pied Piper. Yeah, we just got to get them in a place where they're not going to bother us for long enough that we can raid the Gigamart. So just up here in town looks like a good spot. And that did work well enough to thin the crowds out enough that we could get by clearing the rest out with this new machete that we found just minutes earlier. So with that, a new police helmet and the entire contents of the Gigamart were ours. Back at base, day 88, yet more farming, planting some seeds this time to make the most of the rainfall so we don't have to bother watering the fucking things. And then again, back in the workshop, this time not to practice our skills, but to fix up our favourite yellow van. Just buffing the dents and scratches out of there. Lovely job. More random jobs on day 89, including first thing going to pick up this black shitty van that conked out on us the other day. However, we realised that the taxi couldn't pull it, so we had to go the other way round. And then once we got back home, we used the van to pull this shitty old blue van out of the workshop because there's no way it was driving itself in that condition. And then with all the spare bits of bullshit and parts and everything that we've gathered, it was time to try and get a little bit of order to the place. Day 90, more base work. This time creating a bit of a wooden road so that we can actually get to and from the workshop with any cars that we pick up without having to go over the shitty grass that's going to get overgrown before long. Day 91, not the most exciting day, just crafting and setting a few more traps. And then day 92, Stocky decided to head out to this trailer park because with all the fun he was having the other day with a shotgun, he ran out of shells. So thinking that perhaps some of these places would have some shotgun shells in the bedside cabinet and all that, he headed over and tried to find some, but it was all to no avail. However, again, Stocky got extremely lucky after almost getting extremely unlucky. Check this out. Very fucking tight little corner there to try and open the door and run out, but we have a zombie with a katana sticking out of his guts. And that is going to do us very nicely. Thank you very much. Katana in hand, Stocky went back over to Riverside to continue on with his hunt for some shotgun shells. I enjoyed that one. But again, looking in houses, trying to find shotgun shells just randomly, it was not time well spent. So Stocky decided to have a little bit more fun with the katana and went back over to the town centre. Plenty of kills, but no shotgun shells, unfortunately. However, the good news was that Stocky stumbled across this perfect looking ambulance on the way home, and it was parked right outside this clothing store. So Stocky grabbed a few supplies for winter, hotwired the ambo and then hooked it up to the van that he drove over here with, and then towed it all home. Back at home, Stocky got washed up and then tried on all his new clothes. And he's not looking too bad, even though he says so himself. Not much to do on day 94, just another trap check, and then stick some more bait in them. And then yet more cooking and chopping and cooking back in the kitchen. Day 95, Stocky for some reason forgot how to drive, or at least stop anyway. And then the fucking idiot did it again. And figuring that he was in such a destructive mood, he decided to go and chop down a bunch of trees ready for some more construction. Namely, this wooden road that he's building. That continued into the shitty weather on day 96, but he had to get the job done. He figured he'd started, so he's got to finish. Then with a bunch of logs left over, he decided to put in a little bit more of a permanent fixture for accessing the top of the base from the workshop and vice versa. And then it occurred to Stocky, I wonder if we can get up on the roof. And the answer was yes. Check it out. Not quite sure what we can do up here, but it's good knowing that we can. Now, let's see if we can get all the way up to the top of the roof over the ballroom and the workshop now. And again, victory! Now, as far as goals for Stocky's apocalypse adventure go, a safe and self-sustaining base was pretty much top of the list. And that really has been achieved now. We've walled the whole thing off. Stocky can grow and trap as much food as he's ever going to need. So to really set himself up for the long haul, Stocky filled up all his empty gas cans and then went over to the other gas station over in Riverside to go and pick up this chest freezer, which is just going to give him a little bit more capacity back at base for all of his crops and all of his rabbits that he's been catching. And then one final mission after clearing out these zombies. One final mission that Stocky assigned himself was to clear out the lickety split. I don't know how many bottles of booze that was, but if it doesn't last the winter, then someone's got a problem. I mean, we couldn't even fit it in all the alcohol cabinets, so we had to put it all on the alcohol cabinets. On day 99, Stocky started to settle into the routine that was going to be his routine for the foreseeable future, having everything here that he really is ever going to need for long-term survival. Stocky's story from this point is going to be about farming, trapping, cooking, eating, drinking, cooking, eating, cooking, drinking, eating, and drinking. I don't know about you, but that sounds alright to me. Maybe a little bit of my subconscious has kind of crept through into Stocky's situation, or maybe there's just a little bit of everybody in Stocky. If you've watched this series all the way through to the end right now, then I think maybe, just maybe, you can identify, even just a little bit. So as Stocky approaches day 100, which just happens to bring with it the first snow of winter, a stark reminder of how bad the situation could have been if Stocky hadn't have planned ahead and given himself this great chance of survival. Let me say thank you for watching. I really hope that you've enjoyed Stocky's adventure as much as I've enjoyed channeling him through my mouse and keyboard. This was my first Project Zomboid series, so if you enjoyed it, please do let me know. These videos are a lot more time consuming than the regular 7 Days to Die videos that I've been publishing up until now on the channel, so hopefully all the effort was worth it. I really appreciate all the time that you've put into this too by watching these videos, but at this point all that's left for me to say, from Stocky Mickwell and from me, King of the Zeds, is thanks for watching, stay safe, and have a good apocalypse.